I feel like we just started off a little slow. Their pace was much quicker than ours at the beginning, but we ended up picking it up and matching up and knowing who we have and knowing our matchups, like who's the shooter, 20's the shooter. So we have to be aware where she is on the floor at all times. And then 14's a scorer, so we had to live with some of the shots she was going to make. But for the most part, fixing our on-ball screen defense, the staggers and different things like that, just playing better against that.
Jada, you had that stretch in that second quarter where you were able to get to the rim there a couple plays in a row. How much did that kind of get you into the game and into the offense?
It got me going at the beginning just because they were blacking pretty hard. So just getting them out of that and making it easier for the rest of my teammates, and then getting assists. People like Buggs, who cuts really well, finding them on different things and just finding another way to score, even though they were trying to stop our main offense.
What's how important is a game like this against a team that, like she said, was a little more up-tempo, shot the three pretty well? How important is a game like this to kind of flex a different muscle than you're used to?
It's really great for us. We are early in this season, but we rather get hit with, like she said, their defense was really hard today, and they blacked us a lot. So that's just setting us up for the future. So when we do have those games where there are mainly defensive-minded teams, we can be ready.
It seemed like there were some long rebounds, but they did out-rebound you, I think 37-29. Is that frustrating, or did that get frustrating as the game was going on?
Yes, because I know we want to rebound all the time, but I just think we just need to make it a point where wherever it's going, we need to box out and just go get it.
How tough is it to maybe come back that first game after a big win like you guys had against Utah and focus back and kind of get off that high a little bit?
It's hard. I say that for everybody because you are on a high at the time, but you have to just come back and focus. And sometimes that's hard because, you were doing really well and you want to carry that over. And I guess you could say it's a little pressure because we did play so well. We don't want to have a drop off. So in that aspect, it was hard, but we just fight through. And yeah.
Jada, I guess 4-1 or 8-2 assist turnover ratio. Is that good for you? And I guess talk about just the way you were able to, kind of distribute the ball.
That's definitely better. I'm on a great team with a lot of people that can do a lot of great things with the ball and score. So just getting it to them, they know what to do. They put it in the basket. And then just trying to limit my turnovers as well. When I was younger as a freshman point guard, I used to have a lot just going too fast, not really understanding what I'm doing. But now that I am under a system where I'm developing and knowing what the options are, who to hit, and Sarah's been helping me through that too. So just to have her on the floor is like 2 point guards that know what they're doing.
Jada, how much of a learning experience or transition has it been, kind of learning to play alongside Sarah?
It's been a great transition. She helps me a lot on and off the ball, on defense, on offense, just knowing the system, knowing what Nicki wants, because I came from a completely different system. So just falling into this one, not getting into my bad habits from what I used to do and what I'm doing now. And I feel like I'm adjusting pretty well third game in. So.
Bugs, I can't remember if you were out there, but did Sarah just get excited on the block or say toxic ways?
Yes.
You didn't call for a foul, which obviously she wasn't.
Yeah, I was out there, and I saw it definitely wasn't a foul, but I just think, it was some excitement, and that's part of the game. I kind of hate that, we can't really express ourselves as we want to. But it was just excitement, something to get us going, and it did get us going. So, but yeah.
That first quarter, I think you were pretty vocal after a couple of your baskets. How much have you had to take that step as a leader on the court, even if you're only a sophomore?
It's been I wouldn't say a transition for me, but it's kind of hard seeing sometimes that my energy does help my team. But I know when I am vocal, we get it together, honestly. And I'm just figuring out how to take on that role even more because I know my energy does get us going. And even if I'm not scoring, like my teammates do amazing things, I'm going to cheer them on. And I think that's what helps my teammates too because, if I'm having an off night, I need to instill in my teammates so they can have an even better night. And, yeah.
No, they didn't do anything. I just think they're a really good team, and I think that we didn't defensive rebound well enough to create pace. We did create a lot of turnovers. A lot of them were dead ball turnovers, whether they were illegal screens, walks. We bothered Harmony sometimes with congestion in the lane. So we didn't create enough turnovers that created opportunities in transition. But I really thought this was a game that we could create pace and never felt like we did. Now, I do feel like in the half court, when we executed, we could get just about any shot we wanted. When you shoot, as a coach, when you shoot over 50%, I think over the last 2.5 years since I've been here, you can probably count the times, on two hands that we've shot over 50%, especially against a good team. And weren't just shooting layups in transition. And so I thought we were smart enough to turn down some threes late and get the ball to the paint, which I thought spurred our run. I know AB hit a three in that stretch, but no, we knew their offensive rebounding percentage was really high. This wasn't the first time, so we talked about rebounding. We knew Harmony was going to take a lot of shots. She's super talented, and we made her inefficient. If we don't foul her, I would have said we played really good defense on her over the course of the night. She makes some, she's going to miss some, but I thought Mulaney was the difference maker. I thought that was somebody we could do a better job of taking away the three-point line. I thought we did a good job against Kennedy McQueen, who's a similar player that can just get it going from three and will take a high volume of them if you let her. So that would be my biggest disappointment, that we let her take and make so many threes and get, until the last one, which was crazy contested, she had a lot of really good looks at three. And that part is disappointing, whether we're not getting through screens, whether our switches were bad, whether we were in zone on a baseline out of bounds and not finding the shooter. But I thought that's what I was most disappointed with, our defensive rebounding, and really taking her away at the arc.
Coach, when you have an emotional win like earlier this week against Utah, do you almost have a sigh of relief when you get that win the next game, because it's kind of, you got to deal with that high and everyone's
Yes,
great?
yes. And you talk about it all week. You talk about, hey, we can't allow, and I thought we had spirited practices. Like, I think we competed hard. I thought we had a good week of practice, but I do think you have like this confidence. That's a great thing, but you got to keep earning it. You have to earn it game in and game out. And that's a scrappy team. They know who they are. Harmony's going to be in all their actions. They're going to screen. Their bigs separate well to the rim, but they screen really, really well for the people who need it. And then they go get it. They go try to get second chance points. And so, one of the things that's impacting us right now on the defensive glass that, we've really got to fix. We're using Buggs on the perimeter, her length. We're using her to guard perimeter players. It takes her away from the boards. It just does. When she guards fours and fives, a year ago, she was always around the rim. Now, I thought as the game went on and all the switching we were doing, she ended up closer to the rim and got a bunch of rebounds late for us. But I think that's been different. We've got to have Dre and Asia snatch rebounds in the lane if they're the ones, guarding in the post. We've got to have Madison snatch rebounds. We've got to have Letty. We've got to have the people at the rim, and we've got to have our guards run down long rebounds. And so, when all is said and done, it was a wash. When you talk about extra possessions, we beat them by 8. We had 8 fewer turnovers. They had 8 more offensive rebounds. But we shouldn't be even. Like, we have to be more committed to being at least even on the glass with teams, and then winning the turnover battle.
Seemed like a lot of them were long, not to make excuses, but it seemed like.
Which just means we have to pursue. We have to pursue. We don't have, we didn't have necessarily, we may have a size advantage at the 3, but we didn't have a size advantage at the 4 or the 5. So we've got to use our quickness on the perimeter to run down long rebounds. The fact that Jada got 3 or Sarah got 4, I thought they did that late. I thought Sarah grabbed a couple late on long shots, long rebounds, but we have to consistently do that.
You mentioned earlier that Dre was going to knock off some rust. Is Asia kind of in that same boat and was today? And how was today kind of a step in that direction?
Yeah, I mean, Asia scored at the rim. She's someone that you got to make up your mind whether you want to take a charge on or not, but there's going to be a collision in there, and she's not going to be afraid of it. And I think, she needs to make her free throws for sure. She's more than capable. But then you see, like, when she'll get playing downhill, then she'll make that rhythmic 3. Asia can shoot the 3, It's early. She was wanting to just fire 3s, And I don't want that from Dre either. I think Dre can make 3s, but I don't want Dre to be a spot-up 3-point shooter. She drove to the basket and scored. She got a deep post-up in the third quarter. Like, she's got to work inside out, And we're talented enough that it's very easy to, like, go, oh, let me watch Sarah do her thing. Okay, let me watch Jada go do her thing. We're at our best when we're sharing the basketball. The third quarter, we started moving it, sharing it, playing it to advantages, reading advantages better, and the ball not sticking. And so, I thought early we didn't play with a ton of pace. Jada's still trying to figure out me. I mean, she is. She's a pleaser, and she's trying to figure out me. When do I just give it up? And when do I really play downhill and attack? And you see these bursts where she just plays downhill and creates opportunity for us, but, getting that feel of, okay, what does this moment dictate? We're in a drag screen. Let me put my head down. No, let me pull it out and call something. We were actually pretty good tonight in half-court execution when we set up and I think if we rebound better, we're in transition more, we score 100 points. But we were rarely in transition because we didn't rebound enough.
You talked about Jada and how big of a difference maker can she be for this offense when she has games like this where she has 13 tonight?
Yeah, it's the steadiness, we need her to be steady. And she's still trying to figure out, like, this is kind of Sarah's team, when it comes to, so she's willing to defer. She's not a me type player. So learning how to run it and get the ball to Sarah. Like, I started running actions with Jada running the point and running them to Sarah. Like, getting a feel for simple ways that she can get Asia in post-ups when she's at the 3. I mean, I just thought we had little key plays where we bothered them when Bella posted up, and they were mixing the thing we never know when people play us is how they're going to match up. When we play any combination of kind of our 6-foot wing, power forward / centers all out there at once. And so sometimes Bella has the little on her. Sometimes Asia has the little. Like, they're constantly trying to chess match against us. And then all I'm going to do is put that person in the post-up spot, And so they just need to learn to trust the pass in some of those situations and really work for easy opportunities. I think Bella's just been so stinking solid, like, for us. Like, she hasn't not gone out and gotten 20, but her energy's good on D. She takes charges. She competes on the glass. She didn't get a ton tonight. But, she does some simple things, and she's making her 3s. And so I just think we elevate a lot of times, and I know her plus-minus wasn't as good as, say, Dre or Sarah's tonight. But I just feel like her energy when it comes in, we go to a little bit different level.
Like Yaya gave you a little lift there.
Yeah, Yaya was just hacking tonight. She picked up 2 fouls early. Like, I thought even when she picked up her 3rd there, we had massive congestion in the lane. We just got to take a charge on Harmony in that situation instead of Fowler. I mean, but I do think Yaya's going to have some huge games for us, and she plays with an energy in the open floor. We have to rebound again in the open floor, and I just really thought this was a game that we would be able to primary break, that we could get a rim runner, we could get wings running and attack, and we didn't get there enough. You know, and some of it was the pace that they played at offensively, and then, you know, us getting all stretched out and switched, and then shots going up, and us turning and looking at it. But, you know, that's probably what I was most disappointed with, our rebounding and our ability to, like, get the ball and get into space, really get into space and play. You know, and that team is, like, really tough. Like, I give them a lot of credit. They're tough. They compete at the point of attack. They congest. They make you make an extra pass. I mean, you know, we shot 50%, but they blew up. They try to blow up your actions, you know, with physical play at the point of attack. And at times that hurt them. And at times, like, you know, we fumbled exchanges and, you know, I think it was frustrating. They hard hedged us and didn't have any trouble hard hedging us. And we were supposed to be hard hedging them and just weren't getting it done. So we had to change our defensive strategy because we just weren't getting out there and getting in a stance and being ready. And so, you know, we have to elevate. We've got to elevate at the defensive end. I don't believe in let's show up and outscore our opponent. It's just not. I'm not wired that way. I want to beat a team in every phase of the game. I want to take advantage. Obviously, if we have an offensive advantage, I want to take it. But I don't want to play basketball where, you know, we have to rely on making shots to beat other teams, you know. And so I think we've got a lot of room to grow.
Not to ask you specifically about McNeese, but just playing a day after Thanksgiving, can that be difficult, just to turn around like that, or do you give them any time off this week?
Yeah, they'll get tomorrow off. And then, you know, the nature of that, we have some study hall this week too. So we aren't really, we need to take advantage and get some people caught up academically. We need to get ahead for some people academically because, you know, it just gets tougher as we hit finals. But a lot of families and friends will be in town this weekend. It should be an amazing family weekend. Huge meal with all the players and their families coming to town on Thursday, and so we'll practice and have fellowship together. And so, is it hard? I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's harder than going to Cancun or Atlantis or wherever and you know, playing 3 games in 3 days against top 25 opponents when you got a beach right there or a shark tank or whatever to slide through. So, you know, I think we have the ability to make it a really special family weekend, and hopefully we're just motivated to keep competing.